Okay guys, welcome to Monday's Spiral review. Just make sure that you're on week 8 on Monday. So you've got a lot of Spiral reviews, just make sure you're doing the right one. Okay, so the first one is working with order of operations, and it tells us to solve the expression, or write and solve an expression for the following situation. 15 more than the product of 3 and 7. Okay, so I see that math word. I know that product is the same thing as to multiply. And I see more than, which tells me I'm going to be adding. So I know that when I'm doing my order of operations, parentheses, exponent, multiplication is going to come before addition. So I'm going to start with that. So I'm going to start with 3, the product of 3 and 7. So 3 times 7. If you want, you can put those in parentheses, but you don't have to. So 3 times 7, and I want 15 more than the product. So I'm going to add, so plus 15. All right, so I've written my expression because you'll notice it tells us to write the expression and solve it. So if you didn't write it as well, you should make sure to do that. So let's see. I know that 7 times 3, I'm going to do that first. So 7 times 3 is 21. And 21 and 15 is going to be 36. So my final answer is 36. Okay. Number 2 asks us to model and solve the problem 2/10 times 9/10. All right, so let's go ahead here. I'm going to color first 1/10 and then 2/10. I'll change my color. The other way, I'm going to be coloring in 9/10. 1, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 8/10, 9/10. And then all I've got to do is add up these boxes that were colored twice that have yellow and pink. So I'm colored 1, 2, 3, 4. I know that 9 times 2, though, is 18. So I colored 18. And each of these little boxes we know is a hundredth. So 18 hundredths. My decimal goes here. We also know that because we can count the decimals, right? 1, 2, and I move my decimal 1, 2. 18 hundredths. All right. Moving right along, our next one asked us to subtract 5/6 minus 1/2. And we know that when we are adding or subtracting fractions, we must have a common denominator. That's right. So it sets up these area models so we can just make it on the shapes here. So let's first start by dividing this number into sixths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to color in 5 of those sixths. And I see that my denominator for the other number is 2. So I'm going to use this model to divide this top number by 2 as well. So my new fraction I'm going to have isn't 5/6. It's actually 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of 12. And I can go ahead and do the exact same thing on the bottom. First, I'm going to start by coloring in half. And then I'm going to divide the shape the other way into sixths, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, that's messy, but let's see. So my new denominator here would also be 12. And my denominator would be 6. And now, because I have the same denominator, 12 and 12, I'm ready to subtract. So I know 10 minus 6 gives me 4, so 4 twelfths. which I can also simplify. Remember, when we're working with fractions, we always simplify. My final answer is going to be 1/3. And if you're having a hard time with simplifying those fractions, send me a message on Zoom and I can send you a lesson to remind you how to simplify fractions. Okay, the next one asks us, which one of these represents 10 to the third power? 10 to the third power, or 10 cubed. That would be the same thing as 10 multiplied 3 times. So 10 times 10 times 10. The answer is C. Okay, for number 5, you're working with very American conversions here. I know you might be asking yourself, when am I ever going to use this? But whenever we take the map test, it tends to come up a lot. So let's see here. I know that 1 pound, you can put that 1 pound, is the same as 16 ounces. 16 ounces. And so I'm trying to figure out 4 pounds. So I just need to multiply 16 times 4 because I'm trying to find out if I have 4 pounds, I have 16 times 4. So let's do that quick. You know 6 times 4 is 24. And 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2 is 6. So I know that 4 pounds, I guess, oh, they gave us these boxes here. So we can multiply 16 times 4, which would give us the answer of 64 ounces. All right, again, no worry if you weren't really familiar with that conversion, but it might come up in your life, so it's good to kind of practice. The same with this, pints to quarts. 1 pint is actually half of a quart. So that would be the same as doing 4 pints times 1/2, or divided by 2. So 4 pints is equal to 2 quarts. 2 quarts. Again, a little bit tricky. Yeah, let me know if you're having trouble with any of that. That's our spiral review for Monday, and I hope you have a lovely afternoon.